Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ground Up with Natalee, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on what it actually takes to build a career in the entertainment industry as an actor. I sit down with actors, directors, and casting directors to talk about the real, unfiltered journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. No gatekeeping, no overnight success myths, just honest conversations to remind you that you're not alone and that you too can follow this dream. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ground Up with Natalee. Today, we have the incredible Francia Raisa on the podcast. It's going to be hard to put into words in this intro what this episode is about. We go through acting, of course, but you guys, there is so much on mental health, taking care of yourself. She's been in this industry for 20 years, not to age her. She's still 22, but she is the definition of a working actor. She's the definition of someone who has incredible work ethic. She's raw, she's intelligent, extremely knowledgeable, and I'm honestly just like really excited and proud of this episode. I don't even have to say anything more. I know you're gonna send this to your friends because it's gonna inspire you. And as always, enjoy the app. Let's get into it. Francia, thank you so much for being here today on Ground Up. I'm so excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate you asking.
We start every episode with the Ground Up 3, so I would love to know, where are you from?
I am from Los Angeles, born and raised. I'm first generation Mexican and Hondureña. So my dad's from Honduras, my mom's from Mexico.
Okay, so we were just talking offline about what that means within the industry, and as we all know, we're put into boxes, like period, end of story. It's okay. Like it's not gonna go away. We can pretend that it's gonna like fully go away, but casting is checking boxes, EPs are checking boxes. So I don't know, we were just kind of having a great conversation offline about what that means to you and what it means to me. Like I'm fourth generation Latina, and then roles come in and, you know, your team's like, well, no, tape for it. You got the audition, and it's like fluent Spanish, first generation, like, you know, and then someone like wanting the job, I'm like, yeah, I want it, but I feel like someone who's really first generation should be getting it.
Right, but then you would get it over someone that is first generation.
You sound like you have some experience with this.
I have some experience with it with my entire life, not just the industry. You know, my dad doesn't speak English, and my mom learned it as I was learning it at 6 years old, but I grew up straight up thinking I was in Mexico. I didn't know I was American until I was in high school. So I grew up with a lot of first-gen kids from like kindergarten to 8th grade, not just Latinos, but like first-gen Filipino kids. So I was around that. And then I got to high school, and it was the first time I had met second, third, fourth generation Latinos, and they didn't speak Spanish. And I was shook to my core. I remember talking to a cheerleader. We had just met. We were trying out. And I just started speaking to her in Spanish like I usually do. Yeah. And she goes, oh, I don't speak Spanish. And it was like she was not embarrassed that she didn't speak it, but, you know, that it was wrong that I was.
Well, at that time, wasn't the thing that their parents were trying to not speak to them in Spanish so that they wouldn't learn it, so that they would be more Americanized?
Right. And they're second, third, fourth.
Right.
And so I didn't have that experience. But there are some first gens that also had that experience. It just depends because, you know, Latinos were also very discriminated against, not just now, but in history. You know, there's a huge case called Mendes versus Westminster that a Latino family curated to have Latino kids go to school with everyone else because they were separated. Wow. So it goes on.
You said Westminster?
Westminster. Mendes,
like right here?
Yeah, Mendes versus Westminster. Yeah. So California was the first state to desegregate schools before Brown versus Board of Education, which is another piece of history that, you know, most of us don't know about.
Yeah.
I learned it like 2017. I learned about that, and I got rejected from school when I was in kindergarten, the first school I went to, because I didn't speak English. So it was something that my dad and my mom were like, no, that's going to be your superpower. I grew up watching novelas.
Oh, good.
I could only like speak Spanish at home. I got in trouble if I spoke English, which was so messed up because I would get in trouble for speaking English at home. But if we were out and they needed me to translate, oh, God forbid I didn't know how to translate.
Right.
Why did I put you in school for, you know? So I grew up with the Mexican abuse.
Yeah.
But then when I got to high school, you know, I was like, oh, I got to be a little more Americanized. I don't know if I felt it so much, but I started hanging out with more white friends than not. And then when I got in the industry, the only reason I got a manager was because the manager that well, first of all, these girls I was backup dancing with, and one of them had just booked a guest star role on Unfabulous, and I was like, how?
Oh my God.
Right, that's how long ago it was. And she goes, I auditioned. I didn't even know what an audition was. I don't know anything.
Of course.
And I was like, how did you get an audition? She said, my manager booked me the audition. I said, well, I want to be an actress. Can I meet your manager?
Hell
Can
yeah.
you believe how bold that is? But that's so
blind
bold.
confidence of a, how old were you?
I was 16.
Ooh, that's cool. Okay, yeah. Blind
I
confidence of a 16-year-old.
But at the time, the manager was looking for a bilingual Latina actress.
She was ahead of her time.
Yes. So I met her and she tested my Spanish, which she said, I'm sorry, I've had so many clients that have lied and said they do. And then when it comes to an audition, they can't.
Okay.
And I was like, well, who would lie about
You're
that?
like, what do you want me to say, girl? Like, full conversation.
Yeah,
right
all
now.
I'm hearing is my dad being like, one day you're going to be grateful. And although I am, like, you don't have to be so violent about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be so abusive about it. So mean. But then when I got into the industry, something that I thought was going to be my superpower hasn't even been used. You know, I haven't really spoken Spanish on television, maybe like a line here or two.
Really?
Bring It On was the first like big thing I did. And there were some Spanish lines that I actually changed the dialogue and I had no idea. I had my dad write the lines and they're famous within the Latino community. For those of you watching, it's the line where I say, te dije que te traigas tu culito de pastilla pa' acá. My dad wrote that line. And so it was a little here and there. But no, after that, I also felt even back then, oh, these girls that don't speak Spanish, but they have Latino last names and they are Latino, they're booking.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
And so it got really, I mean, it was pretty fast for me early on, but it wasn't because I was first gen. I just was good at playing the roles that came to me.
You auditioned for it and you booked it because you were the character.
I was a character. I was right for it.
And they did need, was it a Latina character, like the last name?
Yeah, so all the characters I've booked, they were all Latinas, but it wasn't specified that they were first gen. If anything, once I booked them.
Or fluent Spanish.
Yeah, once I booked them, I tried to add that little edge in there.
Yeah.
And then for How I Met, I actually chose her to be second gen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was also because those auditions that you're talking about before you booked Secret Life.
Yes, I'm talking about, this is 2005 that I'm talking about.
I would say in the last, correct me if I'm wrong, would you say in the last few years, 5 years, that you're seeing more characters, not a lot, but more character descriptions where it'll say must be fluent in Spanish?
Yes, and I started seeing that after Sofia Vergara blew up for Modern Family.
Okay.
So let's see, I think they premiered in 2009, and then all of a sudden it was, we need someone with an accent, Sofia Vergara vibe.
That's another thing.
So now,
Francia, I've had to like practice an accent
same
before, you know what I mean? And that's relevant because a lot of us don't, we're actors. We've been working our ass off. We are Latina, but we don't have accents. So like, what do you think the line is on there? Like, should we be able to practice an accent and perform the role?
Well, it's tough to say because, look, if it's somewhat, it just depends. You know, times have changed.
Yeah.
And we've, changed with the times. Like, all of television is post-COVID, and COVID is mentioned.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of life. And the reality of life is, although I could be born in Mexico and Spanish is obviously my primary language, because of the internet and how much society has grown into integrating with one another, there's Mexicans that speak English. And they don't have a crazy accent, especially in like Mexico City. I mean, like they talk a little bit, funny, but it's not too crazy. So I think the line, what's frustrating is it's all or nothing. There's no in between. It's either, if you're from Mexico, you have to have an accent. True, but not to the degree that you think it should be so broken, There's so many Europeans that speak, English. I mean, English, I feel, is a language that's learned a lot around the world besides Spanish and Mandarin, right? So I just think if it's true to the story, and it's someone that, although she grew up there, like there's ways that they can write it in.
It's true, yeah. There's so much, and there really is so much gray area within it. And I don't think that the industry highlights that enough or allows us to be gray. I think what's happening now is there's a lot of open ethnicity auditions.
Because they're trying to be inclusive.
Yeah, because they're trying to be inclusive. And I think realizing that once you book the role, like a great example, the show that I'm on right now, I booked it as Gina Rojas. And then I get to set, and the showrunner was like, tell me about yourself. I guess he's known for loving to kind of make the character to who you are, which is rightfully, it's a procedural, so you might as well do, And
love your showrunner.
yeah. And I was like, oh, great. And we talked for 5 minutes because we were in between so much going on. But I was like, I'm Peruvian, I'm Armenian, and I'm from Orange County. He goes, we're changing your last name to Gozian, which is Armenian.
That's amazing.
And I loved it because, number one, I've never seen a breakdown for a series regular role for an Armenian, first of all. And maybe that's because I don't get submitted on those, so I never see them. Mm-hmm. But something tells me there's not a lot of them.
No.
You're right. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's, a handful, four mains.
There aren't auditions for mixes unless you're half white and half something else.
Exactly.
Other than that, it's not like a mixed ethnicity.
Right.
You're one or the other.
Or even Armenian 100% or whatever.
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
don't get
say
that. No, and if there is like a need for Armenian, they'll say something else. Or they'll say all ethnicities.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah. But so I thought that was really cool. But I think more of that is happening. And then I would just say anyone listening, like, be strategic, but don't lie, but also hold on to your roots and who you are. Like,
yeah, and just learn the language of the business. I know that's where I failed a lot. I got into it when I was 16 years old.
Yeah, so let's go back a little bit. So you got signed with the manager that your friend at 16 introduced you to.
Yeah.
And did you stay with that manager for a while?
I stayed with her up until, I want to say 2000. Let's see, I booked Secret Life in 2008. Probably 2009, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you booked, how old were you when you booked Secret Life of American Teenager? 19. Okay, 16 to 19, you were auditioning.
I was auditioning. I booked Bring It On 6 months after I started auditioning. So I was 17.
Holy shit.
I know that my career is like unreal. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to say to people when they say, how do I get into it?
Right. Well, but we're going to talk about some things because I know that you've had trials and tribulations along the way.
Of course.
And I love talking to people who have been on long running shows because I'm like, do you get offers thrown at you? And you're going to be like, no, ma'am. So we'll get into that. But so you book Bring It On. That's amazing. Wow, that's insane. So then you continue to audition. You're 16 to 19. You finish high school?
So that's another story. I had to finish high school in order to book Bring It On. That was the only way I would be able to film it.
So you booked it at 18 then?
No.
Oh.
I had to emancipate myself.
Right.
So at 17, when you're a senior in high school, and this is a month into my senior year.
Okay.
And mind you, I had already switched schools, so I can still go to school on audition because the high school I was going to before that, which I consider my alma mater, I had to appeal for my credits. I was absent so much.
Oh, wow.
Even though they signed the work permit slip. Then all of a sudden, the industry didn't count, which if I would have known back then, I would have argued. But anyways, so I switched schools, and then a month in, I was on the verge of booking it. But they didn't want to have a set teacher for me. And so the only solution my manager at the time thought of was to test out of high school early, which you can do your senior year.
Yeah.
So I'm a month in. She found a program that...
Did you take I took my GED and I skipped senior year.
No, I didn't do GED. It's just, I just did like the high school exit exam to get your high school diploma. Okay. Which you can qualify for when you're a senior. So I took that, and I actually almost failed. I missed, so let's say you can only get 7 wrong. I got like 8 wrong. Okay. But the guy, he felt for me because he saw my disappointment. He goes, I'm going to give you one more chance with one question. And so then I got my second chance, and I got it right. So I barely passed.
Amazing. Do you ever think about senior year and missing it?
Yes, all the time.
Really? I don't think about it.
You know what? It's because really
But I like this perspective. I like to hear that you do.
Did you miss it?
Yeah.
What? How many years did you go to high school?
Freshman, sophomore, junior.
Okay.
Granted, I went freshman, sophomore at one school, got so bullied, I moved to a different school for junior year. Why. So that's probably why. Yeah, I wasn't like part of ASB, and I do regret that.
Yeah.
I wish that I was a cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader.
I wish that I was in ASB. I wish that I was in, I think I did TV broadcast journalism, which was so fun, but I only did it for like one semester. I wish I was more involved.
Right.
Versus trying to be so cool. I was like hanging out with the cool kids and then not getting invited to parties and being sad about that versus like thinking about school.
I mean, same but different. Like, I was so excited to go to high school because I had been watching it on TV my whole life.
Yeah.
Like I said, I went to the same school from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Oh,
So high
wow.
school, I was like, I'm going to be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm going to date the
I
quarterback.
have all my best friends already.
Yeah. Yes and no. Like I went in with some best friends, but I made new best friends with the cheerleaders, and like, you know, people just grow apart.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of like how I just handled this switcheroo.
I mean, you were in 8th grade.
I was in 8th grade and I was a freshman, but like it was also just such a culture shock for me going to high school. But I do miss it. I mean, same thing. I was so worried about being cool instead of my grades.
Yeah.
I also didn't know at the time I had ADHD, so that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's something about being normal and being able to have those stories. And I think more so I missed the fact that I didn't go to college than my senior year.
Okay, but this makes sense when you talk about normalcy because you went straight into the spotlight. You went straight into right when you booked, you're an adult now and you do multiple seasons and years on a show. For me, it was like I didn't have that, so I didn't miss being a kid. Does that make sense?
Right.
Where you were probably like, dang, I wish I milked that more. I went straight into adulthood. Does that feel like?
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. You know, I classify myself as a parentified daughter. I feel like I had to grow up early in life. And my dad is famous in the Latin industry. So I grew up in the industry, but not so much in Hollywood. And so I do wish that like, because he did have us have a normal life, considering what his life was. I just wish that I was able to manage to do both. I mean, for so long, I told myself there's no way. But then I'm on Grownish and Yara Shahidi is going to Harvard and filming at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
I get it. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I didn't go to college either.
Yeah.
So I feel that. But I also don't have the thought of wishing that I went to college.
It's not even for the degree. It's for the experience.
Yeah.
God knows how many times I've seen people that know someone and, you know, in business, they're like, oh, my friend does this. I met them in college.
Yeah, that's true.
And the stories.
The
and
experience, I'll never have that. That's so true.
And when I was filming Grownish, I realized that like, this is my only college experience. And my sister went to college and she talks about all these sororities and stuff. I'm like, damn.
No, totally. My cousin gave me a tour of TCU, Texas Christian University, which is like this out of a movie. They definitely film shows there. She's walking me through it. And I was like, I had never been to a proper college campus. I went to community college for 1 year in Orange County before I moved up here. But she walked me through. I'm like, this is where you lived in those rooms? She's like, yeah. I was like, and your friends hung out right here? And it was just this beautiful, massive, and granted, I'm sure this is like a really nice college that I don't know about. That's like, our producer is nodding his head. Tanner, yes, it's a nice college, which makes sense, Christian school. But anyways, I was just like, dang, I'll never experience this. And she was just telling me about, oh yeah, we used to walk and they would pick me up here, like just walking. And then we would go to this sorority party and that. But that's why it was always my dream to like play it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got to do that.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, okay.
You know how it is.
I
on
do know
set.
how it is. I know.
It's not the same.
It's true.
Yeah. But you know what? Grass is always greener, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sure, someone listening to me is like, but you got to film a TV show, you got to do a movie.
100%.
Yeah, totally. I also had to start signing W-2s at 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was. And there was just,
To be fair, they don't teach you that.
no one teaches you that.
But even in school,
no,
they don't.
they don't teach you basic.
How is there not a class on taxes and W-2s and
But why do I know that pi equals 3.14? I've never used it in my life.
don't know. Like, and it's still the same.
Mm-hmm. And math changed, apparently. They don't teach math the same way anymore. It's not, please excuse your dear Aunt Sally anymore. It's different. No.
Okay, well, I guess we'll learn that when I have a kid. It's going to be non-existent by then.
Who knows?
Ground Up is sponsored by Mastermind Media. Whenever someone asks me, how do I get everything done between my social media, my podcast, I say, well, I don't do any of it. Mastermind Media helps me with all of it. They created my logo. All of those reels you see on TikTok and Instagram, it's them. My podcast, editing, all the graphics on YouTube, it's Mastermind Media. So in this digital age, I find that more and more people are needing a company like this who handles everything start to finish. So if you're interested in finally taking your business idea to the next level, definitely contact Mastermind Media. All of their information is in my show notes. So you book Secret Life. You film that from 2008 to 2013.
Yes.
And then I wanted to talk about this little. Okay, first of all, you have a wonderful experience on that show. How was your experience?
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Tell me the ages. 19 to 23. you were
Sure.
on that? Okay.
23, 24.
I don't know.
Hold on. 23, 24. I don't
Formative ass years.
Yeah.
So you're thrown into that in the best way ever. How was the audition? Do you remember it?
Yes. So I had just done a movie for ABC Family called The Cutting Edge 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I booked it was because I knew how to figure skate. They did not want me. They said I was green. They wanted the other actress. And then we had the skating audition, and I used to figure skate.
Stop.
So I brought my own skates, and I had just started practicing again just because my mom's restaurant was across the street. So I was like, I was literally gliding my way through. And I felt bad because they gave her rental skates, and they're the worst, and she kept falling.
You're like, what size are you, girl?
Not really.
Yeah.
Secretly, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And that happened with Bring It On, too. Like, my dance audition is what booked it.
Wow. This is a great lesson in special skills.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. I got thrown into the fire, but my dad made sure to train all of us to be ready with special skills. Like, my special skills list is long. So anything you throw at me, I'm like, yeah, I could probably do it. So the dancing for Bring It On is what booked me. It was me and like 2 other girls. And then for Cutting Edge that's how I booked that one. But it ended up being a huge success. Huge. So by the time I got the audition for Secret Life, I was nervous. I mean, you go in for the pre-reads, you don't expect anything. Mm-hmm. And then I got the call back and I met Brenda, and then I got a test deal. And
Wait, who was the casting director?
Our executive producer was Brenda Hampton.
Okay. Got it.
Our casting director was Peter, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how to say that.
Yeah. By the time that show was over, I was just getting started.
Oh,
so
really?
I never went in for it.
It's so interesting meeting actors. They're like, oh, I was on your show. And I'm like, what'd you play?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that makes complete sense.
If I didn't see you on Sarah, I didn't have a scene with you. Like, I don't
there's
remember.
No way. Yeah.
I don't remember. There have been times where people have remembered me when I guest starred, like Mindy Kaling. I did one episode, and she remembers me to this day. And I'm like, I wish I was like you.
Well, no, that means that you made an impression on her.
I hope so.
If there was an actor that came in and did a scene with you and you're like, you're going to be you could see that star quality.
True.
Sometimes you're like, you're going to be someone, or like, you're going to book something great.
That's true.
She thought that about you.
All right. Well, Mindy cast me in something again.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does. So by the time I got to test, of course I was freaking out, and it was between me and a blonde. And I was like, oh gosh, either one. And I brought a duffel bag because I didn't know what to wear. I was sweating. I was nervous. I was hungry. I went to the cafe because, back then you waited for hours.
Yes.
And as soon as I walk in, everyone from the network in the studio were like, we love Cutting Edge. It did so well. Swear to God. And so can you imagine walking in and getting that? My nerves went out the window, and I was like, oh, I got this. And so, I ended up booking it.
That's the best. Do you like remember that phone call?
Yeah, I do. I was in my condo in Los Feliz. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I remember I got the call, and he started screaming and running around the house, just like so excited for me. But I didn't know what it really meant.
I was gonna say, was this a pilot or was this a straight to
series?
Okay, one season.
Every show I've booked has been straight to series.
Okay.
So
I've never done a pilot either. I mean, I haven't booked that.
I've done pilots that haven't gotten picked up.
Okay.
But like, I wasn't a series regular. Like, I did a pilot where I was a recurring and didn't get picked up.
Got it.
But mostly everything I've done.
No, give me that juice. I love it.
I mean, you're good. You're set. You're on a procedural. You'll be there for 20 years.
We'll see. No, we're knocking on wood.
Which is crazy. You know what's funny is I think hearing that 10 years ago, this is how much the industry has changed. Actors would have been like, I can't be on a procedural for 20 years.
Yeah. Totally.
And now, and I'm guilty of that. Even 2 years ago, I was like, I don't want to be on a procedural because, whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, put me on a damn procedural. I don't care.
So I think I manifested this because 2 years ago, while everyone was still in that mindset of like, I don't want to be on a whatever show, I was like, oh, I was like, I see things shifting. I was like, I want to be on a procedural. Well, I said a network television show.
Okay. And they're usually, now they're all procedurals.
Exactly. So I was like, I want to be on a network television show. I want something steady. I'm done with, not done. I don't want to tell the universe that because I would love, at the same time auditioning for CIA, I was auditioning for like Presumed Innocent.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect example of like an amazing Netflix show. But there's so much, you just don't know if it's going to get picked up for another season. And then They also only do 8 episodes.
Which, yeah, well, you were smart for that. And
now you're manifesting that? Say
oh,
it
I'm
here,
so
folks.
glad. I'm so glad that you actually just said that word, because I wanted to say something, and I'm guilty of this too, of, saying, I didn't want to, and then thinking, oh, it's negative, I don't want to manifest that. I don't think we're manifesting that. I think it's okay for us to want to grow, and the universe knows that, God knows that. And so
100%.
you're not complaining. I think you're just ready for that next chapter.
Yes.
And so when you say, I don't want, you're not rejecting anything. You're saying, I'm ready. And so then I think life tests you, or not tests you, but puts you in a position to prepare for that next season that you're claiming you're ready for. So
I love that.
So I'm more so manifesting. Honestly, my manifestations have changed.
Okay.
When I don't even know where to start with this. I constantly get asked, if you weren't acting, like, what would you be doing? You know? And
that's a great question. If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
I actually, my sister sent me my old yearbook from 8th grade, and I wrote that I wanted to be a criminal lawyer. But first, I wanted to pursue acting and modeling. And then once I was content with that, then I would go into criminal law. And I think
on the defendant, is that on the defendant side?
I don't
defense attorney.
I was 13. I didn't even remember writing that.
But now, or do you know?
Well, what's interesting is, so my dad was training us for the industry. So I obviously it was implanted in our minds that we were going to do this. Not saying I don't love it, and I'm so glad I'm in it, but I guess I had other dreams that I felt like I couldn't explore.
Yeah, they got buried within it all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've been wanting to be more creative. And so, especially since the show got canceled, the strike and everything, I've had a lot more time to do the things that I have put on the back burner. And so I discovered I have a crazy talent for writing that I am fortunately now starting to make a living off of.
Yeah. Are you writing scripts and then getting them optioned? Are you selling them off? How does that work? I don't know. I'm terrible at writing. I've never dabbled.
I'm under an NDA, so I'm not gonna go into that right now.
All right.
But once you guys will know,
Yay.
And I think it's the beginning of me being able to really explore that side of myself. I really, really enjoy it. So listen, I'm love being on television, and I'm manifesting another show. But I also know that when I'm on a show, it is my life.
Yeah.
Everything stops. And I don't see friends. I don't see anyone else. I am there Monday through Friday, and then I rest on the weekends just to go back. So I am excited to, now that I've been building things on the side, go back to set and actually compartmentalize more. I want to work.
And then have a life outside of it and be able to be creative in other ways.
Yes. And I'm not as, success looks different to me than it did before. To me, I'm I've done really well. My goal when I got in this business was to have 1 series regular job, just one. And I've done 3.
Yeah. And
I feel like I'm so much more creative, and I've been, dialing into that side of myself the last few years. And I don't know, I just want to make a living, go home, have a family, and live a quiet, private life as much as I can, considering that our lives are all exposed.
You seem very confident.
Yeah,
thank you. And I feel like it's built in, and it's been built in for a long time. I'm sure you've dealt with maybe insecurities over the last 20 years as normal. Yeah, people do. But I believe you said you've booked 3 series regulars, and I don't believe that one physically could do that without belief in themselves.
Right.
Do you think that it was your dad that instilled confidence? Do you think it's in your personality? How do you think that you stay to where you actually believe your worth? Because I think that's the only way you can book.
Right. I think in the beginning it was definitely my dad. I was living with an immigrant man that made it in America without speaking English. So I was like, no one can tell me no. And whenever I heard a no, I was like, you're crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, that's how my career started. And then after Secret Life.
Your loss.
Right? But after Secret Life, so it's beautiful being on a series regular show. But then there's a version of you that gets shelved. And my experience on Secret Life was very different than most normal shows, I guess. And our EP was not a fan of us doing any work outside of Secret Life. I did book a movie after, I think, the first season. during hiatus, and I was supposed to leave for Mexico to go film it, and it overlapped with a season finale by 1 week. But and it was 7 days to shoot a show, and I was only working 2 to 3 days out of those 7 days.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to switch schedules, and they do it all the time. And we were on the lot, so it's not like we were on location.
And how many seasons in are you?
This is first season.
Oh, okay.
So I would have filmed this movie during hiatus.
Okay.
And they said that everything was scheduled. They couldn't switch it, so I couldn't go do the movie.
Yeah.
And then when the last episode came, I filmed all of my scenes the week before I would have left.
Oh.
And it felt, I can say it now, but it feels like it was done on purpose.
Wow.
Because then I did another cutting edge movie, but like she couldn't say no about that. But then I booked during a different hiatus. I was like during season 3, I think.
Yeah.
I booked a guest star role
Right.
on CSI, like 3 little scenes. I just was so hungry to do
Yeah,
something
you want
else.
to, yes. You're allowed to want to do something else just because when you're a series regular shooting the same character every single day for 8 months and you're on season 3, you want to go shoot another guest star on something fun.
Yeah, and like also I want to make money. So,
Yeah.
But she did not want to let me go. I was on hiatus, and I personally had to send her an email and call her and beg. And she made me promise that if she let me do this, I would never ask again. And so I didn't. Which goes back into my childhood. So after Secret Life, I was like, oh my God, I have to start over. None of these casting directors know me.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been out. And then not only that, you think, oh, I booked a series regular, like I should be good. I booked a series regular on a teenage drama show.
No, this is one of my major questions is that gap, like, right? So now it's 2013 because you do it from 2008 to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And you have everyone thinks like, oh, you just booked a series regular. You just came off. It's like, I don't know anyone anymore. I'm a new person. I'm finding myself again. I need to practice auditioning again. So what was that like right when you wrapped? Like, what was the first thing that you did besides maybe take a few months off?
I was drinking.
Okay.
I was drinking while I was filming. I was like going through a really bad depression during, every young Hollywood story. Oh, you're filming a TV show. But I had a lot of things that I hadn't dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
My first season on Secret Life, I was 19 and I was dating someone 19 years older than me. We were 3 years.
Wow.
We broke up at the end of that year. And the more successful I got, the more tension and cheating was happening on the other side. So I was going through a lot. But I didn't understand. I was 19 and he was 39. No,
was he in the industry?
As a choreographer, yeah.
Okay.
38. He was 38, yeah. Which I'm turning 38 this year. So
Right.
I'm like,
What? Yeah.
right. So that breakup like broke me.
Yeah.
Essentially. So when I wasn't filming, I was drinking and partying.
Mm.
So when I got the call, it didn't really click to me what life was like afterwards because I had been so used to just being on set.
When you got the call that another season wasn't going?
Brenda Hampton, our executive producer, called us individual to tell us that
and was like, that was the last season.
we were still filming it.
Okay, this is the last season.
Yeah, this is the last season.
Okay.
So we were still filming. And it was weird. And I had fired my first manager in the midst of like between, I think, season 3, I think.
Okay.
And so I signed with someone new that, now he had the opportunity to start taking me out. And I booked the series regular job, pilot that got picked up, but I didn't get picked up. And even while I was filming, I was like, I am so miscast for this. Like, and the role didn't even exist anymore.
Really?
It just wasn't needed.
Was it still heartbreaking, or you were like,
hell yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it was, but at the same time, I'll be honest. Like I've talked to the actors about this since. I didn't have a good time filming that pilot. Like I was struggling. Like it was just not a great set.
Multiple?
Oh yeah, I went for multiple seasons.
Stop.
It went for, but no, I wasn't the only one. Like
yeah.
The number 2 was also recast. They dropped a lot of other characters. I think they had 2. I was miscast. I should have been a different role than I was.
It happens more. It's just not talked about. But it happens all the time.
And the worst is when like you don't have an answer. All I got was from the executive producer was, "We still love you, boo." That was it.
Oh my God, it's our livelihood.
Yeah.
And you send me, "We still love you."
Oh, it gets even better. When the Deadline article dropped that the show had gotten picked up, something in my gut said, this is weird. Mind you, I didn't even think about me not getting picked up, but I secretly didn't want the project to get picked up.
Interesting.
Not thinking, like, I just didn't think I had an option. You know, you sign a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
So I saw it, and like everyone from cast is like texting each other on the group chat, whatever.
And there was something in your gut.
There was something in my gut, and I still went to celebrate that night with them. But there was still something in my gut. I didn't get the call till the next day.
Wow.
And I was like, I knew it. Something felt weird, and I celebrated with them last night. Like, I look so stupid now.
It's so interesting that our intuition knows. Something similar happened to me where I had an option for a series regular for season 2 of a show, and we got picked up for season 2. The deadline came out, and my team was like, holy shit, like, your option's obviously going to get picked up. You're such a huge part of the show, and we're so excited. Do you want to go to dinner tonight? Agent, manager, lawyer. And I was like, or you know, let's schedule our dinner, da-da-da. And something in me was like, I don't want to celebrate this. Number one, I need my option.
Yeah.
I need the option letter sent to my house.
Yeah.
So I can, or email or whatever.
So you can believe it.
So I can believe it. Yeah. But also, I don't know why. I don't know if it was just the surreal aspect where I was like, that's how I found out about booking my series regular, was a deadline drop. Crazy. Like, it didn't come from an audition, you know, phone call or something. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I don't know what it was. Something weird felt. And then, so my grandma passed away around the same time. And so I got out of that dinner. I was like, I don't feel like celebrating. My grandma passed, and let's just hold off, you know? And then 2 months later, so mind you, I've been under this hold for 10 months now.
Oh my God.
2 months later, I get a call from my manager, and he's like, I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but they're not picking up your option. And I was like, oh, just bawling, crying.
The worst.
Couldn't even be consoled for like 48 hours. But I think one of my superpowers is, you know, cry for 48 hours, but I don't go into any sort of like deep spiral or depression or anything like that. I'm like, all right, this is all I want to do, and this is happening. So what's next? Like,
that's not my experience at all.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I don't have fucking time. Like, all right, well, that sucks. Let's start auditioning again, because clearly I'm on some sort of fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting close, but it's still, it's terrible. It hurts.
Yeah.
Sorry, but no explanation.
No explanation.
For the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get, and that was actually the hardest part. And it was such a huge learning lesson for me. I took it, Francia, I took it so personal.
Yeah. You take it personal.
I was
not.
like,
it's really not.
It's not. And I was like, this is a personal attack. And
Yeah.
like, oh, you know?
Yeah. And it's not. And I knew that because I even felt like I was miscast. I was on set.
Yeah.
And I was like, the role didn't click to me the way all my other roles have. I was actually really surprised I booked it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't I don't want to say as interested, but I wasn't as invested. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't do the research I needed to do. I was just like, I was also, like I said, drinking a lot at the time. And
this is right on the heels of Secret Life of American Teenager, on the after you wrapped. Yeah.
After. I got July 5th of 2025. I found out that I've been living with chronic PTSD and ADHD, and I had no idea. So to answer your question, I don't know. I didn't get the whole confidence from inside. I just been living in fight or flight my whole life, that I didn't know how to function any other way. Wow. It's like it was my survival.
So it was built in. There was no other.
It was just my survival skill. Yeah.
So it was a facade, essentially?
Yeah, for sure. Wow. And I've had to deal with that facade in the last year.
Yeah.
Actually, when I turned 34 was when I had to start dealing with her, because that's the age that my ex-boyfriend was when he met me, and I was 15. And he told me I was going to be his girlfriend when I turned 18. So when I turned 34, like, my whole world just exposed itself to me, and I had to deal with things that I was avoiding and just living in fight or flight for, and my body just couldn't handle the fight or flight, and I started getting really sick, gut issues, hormonal issues, just all these things that developed that I truly believe all stem from things we suppress, like that book, The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes, exactly. Did you read it?
I haven't. I've read enough about it.
Right.
I haven't read it yet because I am reading so many books right now. It's like another thing to add to the list.
Same with me, by the way. I haven't read the entire book, but the underlying major concepts are incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly must have what happened, because also when you're on so many, we haven't even gotten into it, but like so many shows doing 30 episodes here, 6 years on this one, all these things, like you haven't had time to go through everything that your body was telling you.
Right. And
yeah,
well, that was my way of numbing and distracting myself. And so when I wasn't filming, I numbed myself with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just that. Like my trauma starts from childhood.
Right.
So the minute I could play someone else, oh my God, I don't have to deal with myself.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I could not play anyone else. If I had to deal with myself, I would just lock myself in a room and cry and drink or something, distract myself with someone I was dating or obsess over a boy. It was just like not healthy.
So now that because right now are you in a kind of a downtime currently?
Yes and no, because of the other thing.
Working on other things, yeah.
So I was busy with all of that last year, and I was still auditioning and stuff. Nothing hit, but like I'm going hard this year.
Yeah.
I just switched agencies, and you said, oh, you sound and feel confident. I've gotten that a lot just because of the therapy and medication I'm on. Like the person you have in front of you and that you met at Mark's birthday is like so different than who I was even 6 months ago.
Really?
I truly believe in medication. It has helped a lot. It helped take the edge off enough to where I could actually deal with the things that I needed to deal with and not bust out crying. And I also have PMDD. So it's helped to we finally found a cocktail to help level that out. Because even Mark has seen me on my PMDD days and I'm like, I don't want to talk. I just want to do this. And I was dealing.
What is PMDD?
Premenstrual dysphoric disorder, I think it stands for. So basically it's PMS on steroids.
Wow.
It's worse than PMS.
Have you had it forever?
I think so, but I got
It wasn't diagnosed.
It wasn't diagnosed until 2024. And during How I Met Your Father, which should have been the happiest time of my life, I was the most depressed. I would lock myself in the trailer and cry anytime I had an opportunity to be able to go to my trailer. It was dark. And what happens is during your luteal phase, when your estrogen and your progesterone and testosterone are all moving around, basically there's no in between for me. With people with PMDD, there's like a drop that happens. And so your mood just crashes and you literally don't understand the purpose of life. And you get so dark. And I don't want to speak out of turn for anyone, but I truly believe that a lot of young women that have taken their life, I would bet you they have PMDD because it doesn't make sense. And you do get there. I've spoken to so many women. Yeah. I couldn't get out of bed a few days. Yeah. I felt like I had bricks on me. Like everything sucks. And I remember being on set and
I was going to say, how did you deal with set days, or did it kind of mask it in those early years when you were in those phases?
I don't think I masked it very well. I think everyone just
felt it.
I've just always been an emotional person.
Okay.
And I've always known my PMS was bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was a term for it until a few years ago when another actress, I think, came forward. I don't remember who, and started talking about it. So I started doing research. And then I went to a new gynecologist that diagnosed me.
There's so many great tools now for hormonal and like women's health, reproductive health, and
I'm learning that histamine is a big part of that. I was just talking about that.
Wait, what is that's vitamin B.
So basically,
my histamine is out of whack, but I don't feel it. But like my lab test came back, and it says that it's like really high.
Yeah. So when you have too much histamine, it means that your body can't break down nutrients as well. It means that your digestive enzyme is very, very clogged. So your body just starts reacting differently. And so when people have PMDD, I think the histamine levels just go so crazy that, also we have histamine in our reproductive system. So when our body starts going into fight or flight, it sends a message to your reproductive system like, hey, we need more protection because histamine's like soldiers. Mm-hmm. And the only histamine that can really reproduce that fast is testosterone. And so with all the other histamine that's already happening within our bodies, sometimes from eating leftover foods or certain things that affect our gut, everything just goes into overdrive and you crash and you get depressed or you blow up or I don't know, different things.
So when you found out about this, did everything start making sense?
I'm still learning about it and now everything's making sense.
And it feels better just to simply know.
Yeah. Now I have to make the decision. For example, I know that I'm histamine intolerant. but I chose to still have 2 glasses of wine last night, which is why I feel like shit right now.
Right, right.
Because that's histamine, and I just added more to what my body is already rejecting.
Okay.
And, you know,
but it's about, I mean, can't like cold turkey everything, right? I'm sure like sugar has something to do with it. And
I don't eat sugar, thank God.
Okay.
I also have PCOS. Like all these things started happening, and if you don't deal with it,
they start coming up. But you are dealing with it now. And
yeah, thankfully I'm a lot happier. And if I didn't have this downtime, I kid you not, like I would
you
not
would have gone over the edge.
I don't know how I filmed those shows. Like everyone just knew I was really emotional and I was really sad all the time, and I was constantly getting triggered and snapping, and I took direction as criticism. I could not control my emotions at all. I was not my best self. And after my best friend died in 2024 from cancer, I went to work on Lopez versus Lopez a few weeks after. Shouldn't have done that. I was not my best self. I'll just say I was not my best self. Like, I shouldn't have been around people.
Right.
And so I really had to start dealing with a lot. And so July 3rd, I finally got an appointment with a psychiatrist because I thought I was bipolar. And he was like, no, you have chronic PTSD and severe ADHD that I'm sure you've had since childhood, and it just hasn't been detected. But
there's always one doctor that's like, look into these 3 things and tell me if it resonates.
Right. And when he said ADHD, I was like, no, I'm not hyper. He goes, that's not what it means.
That's not what it means. Right.
And then he spoke my life back to me, and I was like,
wow.
No, it's crazy.
Well, I think you've inspired a lot of people by everything that you just shared. 100%.
I hope so.
Because I'm sure there is a lot of women listening to this right now that can relate on any level, and now they're going to go look into their health, because it sounds like you're on the up and up, and you're doing a long road ahead for all of us with everything, you know, but you're taking the steps and taking care of yourself. So
I hope this inspires someone, because I wish I knew. Like PMDD, H2 blockers. Pepcid works because it's an H2 blocker for your stomach that also goes into your brain. Some people say Claritin works, whatever, but I'm not doing that because I found a cocktail that my psychiatrist has figured out.
For you specifically.
For me specifically. But that's something I've heard of if you don't want to go the prescription route. And it's also not that easy to get a psychiatrist these days.
Right.
Now that mental health is popular.
Right.
But I hope women are listening. Honestly, I feel more fulfilled having these kind of conversations and, you know, putting this kind of information out than anything I've done. I'm just, like I said, realizing different talents of mine. I still love what I do.
I was just going to say, I was like, wait.
No, I still love what I do.
Maybe I know, but like as well to fill up that, because the thing is maybe that only fills one side of you.
Yeah.
That makes you always have to be like, because there is a thing in acting, not only are we acting a character, but also on set, especially if you're a series regular, you are like, you got this mask on. It could be real. You could be happy all the time.
We all have a mask when we go to work.
Exactly. Like you're just like, you have to be so on with everyone.
And it's so draining.
And it's so draining. So yes, you'll always be an incredible actor and you're going to continue booking great roles, but maybe there's another side of you that's like, ooh, this other part of me actually has needed to be filled up where I inspire other people.
Well, especially now that I'm not numbing. Like now I can't even handle alcohol, and you know, now that I'm not so depressed and numbing the way I used to, like I said, I'm discovering all these other things about me. I'm discovering my personality, let me tell you, because I turned into Adrian. You know, I started working so young, and I was already trying to escape myself from my childhood. That anytime I got to play another role, I'd like really dug into her. So after Adrian, I was like, is my favorite color blue? Is her favorite color blue? Like it's quite like a.
I'm sure.
I was gonna say mind fuck, but because I don't know any other word to describe it. But
it's okay. Yeah, it's a mind fuck. I mean, especially that young, your prefrontal lobe hasn't fully developed,
and it was already compromised.
Right.
Yeah, I was with a man 19 years older than me when I was a teenager. That's the secret life of my teenage years.
To bring it all back. Okay, well, I do want to go a little bit back into before you booked Grownish. I wanted to know a little bit about those years of auditioning and how it was for you. Did it feel pretty seamless, or was there ever a time between 2013 and I think you booked Grownish in around 2017? If there were times where you're like, you know, you're getting super bummed about the fact that the next one didn't just roll through.
Yeah, I was super bummed, and I tested a couple times, and like I told you, I lost the series regular role, and then my pilot didn't get picked up. Like I was, for the first time, experiencing those things. I was shooting guest star roles, recurring roles, independent roles that I still haven't seen.
Right.
So I was like, what happened to all my offers? You know, I was a fan favorite on Secret Life.
Right.
And so you would think, but it's not, it's, well, one, social media had just really came about probably like the last season or two, and I still didn't get it, meaning Instagram. But it's really about your team. And I didn't know that. And I didn't have the team to help me grow. You know, I do believe that there are people that are great career starters. Career builders are a different set of skills. And, you know, I was working, I appreciate every single person I've worked with and believed in me.
Yeah.
But I was still working at the time with someone that did the normal submit for audition, get the audition,
route.
And then book. And I should have, and because of the popularity I had and all of the things that I was doing behind the scenes that I feel like I should have had a team that helped me learn how to build that.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be so hard for the next
Because there was a good window there where they probably could have done a lot more.
I didn't have an endorsement agent. I'll say that. I should have had that. And just a lot of other things that I could have brought to the table, but no one knew really about being multifaceted back then.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the right team. So I went back to auditioning and re-meeting all these casting directors. And the difference is now I'm in my mid to late 20s, but I still looked like I was 16.
Time. Yeah.
And I didn't want to play a kid anymore.
Yeah.
And I still auditioned for some, but I was like, I want to play my age.
Yeah, at least 22.
But that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And so when I got the audition for Grownish, I originally was like, I don't want to do this. How am I going to go from high school to college? And at the time I tested for it on my actual 29th birthday to play an 18-year-old.
Whoa.
And I was reluctant about it at first, but the manager I had at the time and his wife were like, it's Kenya Barris, it's Yara Shahidi. Like, you should really look into this. It's already picked up the series. And I was like, okay, well, also, I don't do comedy. I'm like not that great of it. Like, yeah, I did an episode of the Mindy Show, but like, you know, she didn't ask me back. So like, maybe I'm not that good, you know, like, it's personal. So I was like, so when I got the call back, I go, what? And then I booked it. I was like, I don't know how I just finagled my way because I know nothing about comedy. Like,
well, apparently you do. So wait, but you're sounding like you were you excited about that process when you got the audition? Because my thing is like, you're auditioning for 4 years at this point. When you got that, I'm just trying to think if you got, but it sounds like you were still being specific about the roles that you wanted.
Yeah.
Or was that just a conversation with your manager where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to book this, but you were still excited to be going out for it? Or were you really contemplating like, I don't want to play 18?
I didn't want to play 18.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to grow up. Interesting. Yeah.
So you weren't desperate for work. Did you ever get to a point where you were feeling desperate?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay.
All the time. Even when I do have a job, I'm desperate for other work. But that's because I got in my head every time anyone would ask me, so what are you doing next? Like, shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what it took to get here?
Right.
And so I never felt like whatever I was doing was good enough. And I when I started getting asked questions like that, it reminded me of my father because he's very much like that. And so
well, what's next?
I was always desperate. Even when I was on a show, I was desperate.
You never felt like you had made it in that moment.
No. And I really believe because I've been living that way, like, I believe in God. God put me in a place where it's like, you can't be desperate for this industry anymore. So I'm going to put you on pause until you appreciate life for what it is. And that's where I'm at right now. And I've heard so many messages, especially in the last couple of weeks. And in yoga yesterday, I was like, how is this message now in my yoga class? Where she talked about, or just the messages I've been receiving. Forget about the past. It's done. Live in the present. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's already written. Tomorrow's already promised. Worrying about tomorrow is not going to bring tomorrow any sooner. Learn how to be in the now. And so that's what I've been doing, and it's been great. So I'm not desperate right now. Like, I am because I miss it, but I'm also like, I'm getting paid doing other things. I am working, and I've been wanting to be, you know, in different, I wanted to have at least like 6 sources of income. And so now I actually have the time to do it. What the hell are you complaining about? Like, your life's not over. And I'm still in the same boat where I'm 37 years old, but I look 22.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to play 22.
No, you could play 26.
I think the youngest I would go, it depends on the role. If it's like a 26-year-old, like she's a cop, a rookie, absolutely.
What is your next dream role, by the way?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I mean, I know my dream is to do an action comedy. That's my dream.
Okay, comedy now.
Yeah, well, that's all I want now is comedy. I'll still
Really?
do drama. Yeah.
So after being on Grownish, you realize that you
Grownish and How I Met Your Father.
Okay, yeah. How I Met Your Father is a full sitcom.
Yeah, you know what? I think because life is already depressing, to have to go to work and like do more like drama, it just like leaves you in a bubble.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to break that up and like try to make people laugh. I still love drama and I'll do it, and I'm in a better place to do it. But I think for a while I was like really leaning into the drama of it all. Like when I had to cry on Secret Life, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. What do you think are, clearly you're a booker.
Yeah.
We got a booker.
Thank you.
What are some tips that you have for actors in auditions? Because the cool thing about you and why I was so excited to chat with you today is because you're currently auditioning. You've been auditioning, and everyone is.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. People are.
Everyone
A-list.
is.
No, but A-list actors are even getting. Hey, do you want to be a big part of this movie? Can you throw in a tape? Like, seriously. So for this role,
I had an actor yesterday who's worked a lot, and he's been a series regular, and he told me he had to self-tape one line today.
Holy shit.
Don't go there. That was it. 3 words. I was like, you have to self-tape? He goes, that's what I said to my reps, but yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Just
like,
give me the role.
are you going to watch 1,000 tapes that say, don't go there?
It would literally be worth your time to just give that to someone who's been working.
But
But that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
So anyways, I would just love to know a tip that you have for actors regarding auditioning and like feeling, I think desperation is a huge one. You just said, I'm always desperate, but right now you feel like you still want it, but you feel comfortable in the space that you're in. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I needed to get here. I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
For those auditioning, I don't know what tips I have because it's changed so much. Now, I grew up in the drive to 3-4 auditions a day on opposite sides of the world audition days.
Changing in the car.
I lived in my car.
Yeah.
I had a trunk full of clothes and
Bars
sides
in
and
the-
headshots.
Power bars in the center console. You're like, no, I didn't eat.
I didn't eat, or I really just ate Jack in the Box a lot.
Yeah.
And I would park on random streets just to take a nap in between auditions. That's why I had to move out so soon, because I was driving from Northridge to Santa Monica to Century City to Culver City. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And now it's just self-tapes. Honestly, I think my secret is now it's about what you see. I'm not trying to make it right. And I learned that a long time ago, especially when I got the audition for Valentina, who was Kate at first. I saw her so clearly. And I didn't want anyone to change what I had seen when I read the sides. I didn't even coach for it because I was like, a coach is going to switch me up, and I see her. And I got to a place where I was like, if they don't see what I see, then I'm not the right person.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. But I'm not trying to go in there and do it right. I'm trying to bring this person to life and hopefully bring in something that you didn't even think about with her, and you like it, and you want to see where else I could go. So I think I approach it. Ever since I started approaching it from that POV, it's gotten a lot easier for me.
Yeah. An acting teacher told me the minute you try to do it right is the minute you lost the job.
Yep.
I was like, dang, girl. That's
Totally,
so true.
Totally.
And it's so hard for people that are perfectionists, which is a lot of us. And, I wouldn't consider myself a perfectionist when it comes to all the other things I do outside of acting. I'm very like, that's how I'm able to do so many things, like a podcast and a course and stuff. I'm like, this is great, thank you. Send it to my assistant sends me it. I overlook it. Okay, looks good. Do I want it to be better? Sure. But like, we got to move on and do other things. But when it comes to auditions, for so many years, I would try to be perfect for the casting director and for the role, and 100% was detrimental to
everything.
All of my no's that I got were definitely, I think, because of that. If I were to earlier on, I think I would have got my series regular earlier on if I would have let go a little bit more.
It's okay, but you had to go through the journey.
Oh my God.
Went through. Like all of us
so glad
do.
that I did.
I had to get to a place where I enjoyed my job because I didn't.
Right.
I was using it as a scapegoat for my life, and I'm excited to go back and actually enjoy it and be present and not try to run my trailer any chance I could.
So you mentioned coaches and acting class. I'm curious, over the years, if you've been enrolled in acting class, if you believe that being in an acting class is truly helped you because you enjoy the community aspect, or do you really feel like what you've learned in acting class has helped you on set perform characters?
A little bit of both. I mean, the community is nice, but I didn't really immerse myself in an acting community until recently. I started off as a dancer. So even though I was on shows, I was with dancers all the time.
Okay.
I didn't grow up going to acting class with, people who are like actively working like crazy. I just met them throughout the years. But, I treat acting class like I treat the gym. If it's a muscle that you don't practice, then you lose it. And it is true, and especially when you're a series regular, you pick up habits.
Yeah.
And that are really hard to break. You build a character for 5, 6, 7 years, and then all of a sudden you have to shake her off.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. And
That's so true.
I went back after Secret Life to acting class. And I remember when the first time Mark was there, the first time I went up, I did a monologue, and I was like, I'm about to show off.
Right.
And he, Aaron, stopped me, and he was like, you're bookable.
You're performing, yeah.
You're bookable. Doesn't mean you're good. I was like,
I know. I want to get into acting class so bad, and I've been over the years. I'm definitely not one to get immersed in the community either, but sometimes I think it's something I need to work on internally, but like teachers can feel like culty. Yeah. And like they know it all, and it's like, well, fuck, I'm the one that's been on 100 auditions and have booked 2 out of the 100. Like, I know more, but that's the business side of things, and that's what my entire podcast is about. I'm so analytical.
Yeah, and you know what? You're so smart for that, because I think, and I'm guilty of it, no one thinks about this as a business. We always refer to it as a business, but we're so stuck on the talent and the art. And
that's why I created a course about the business side of acting.
Yeah, no, once you understand the business, then it'll be easier to book. If you're a good actor on top of it, oh my God, that's the cherry on top. But I have been trying to channel my inner Logan Roy ever since I learned that this is a damn business.
Yeah.
And I have been really enjoying being a businesswoman.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. But I wish I didn't learn this. But again, that comes with having a good team. I started so young, and we're told what to do, where to look, how to act, how to dress. And
did you do media training?
No. I probably should have.
No, I really appreciate our chat today, because I've had many actors on the pod, and they're amazing. But some of them have also come from long-running shows, and it's hard to have a conversation that's not rooted in toxic positivity.
Oh, okay.
I
can understand that.
And so I think that you're the perfect amount of raw, to be honest. You're not going in on anyone or
thank you
any show or anything. It's just true experience.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
I appreciate that, because, sometimes, I get feedback that I'm a little too raw. I just don't know how to be any other way.
Also, it's 2026, so it's a perfect time to be your authentic self.
I thank you, and I don't have media training, and I love conversations like these. But where I feel like I really need it is when I get caught off guard on the red carpet with questions.
It's the fucking worst. It'll send me for a week,
like
into a spiral.
Like, am I going to end up in the headlines tomorrow? What did I say?
I can't imagine you. I've had my fair share of a couple experiences. But man, it's rough. My first
Go ahead.
Okay, please. My first ever red carpet. I was on a freeform show as a recurring.
Which one?
Siren.
Okay.
And I got a publicist for it, which I'm glad I did, because they were so cheap, and I got a bunch of fun experience. But yeah,
by cheap, she probably means $2,600 a month.
$2,500 a month.
Yeah. 25. Yeah. Wow, that is cheap.
Yeah. But they were doing $2,500 of work.
Right.
Like they did the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But anyways, my first ever red carpet, I walked down, and I'm 22, from Orange County. Again, very, Orange County bubble, Americanized, whatever. My publicist told me that they were going to ask me questions about my character, whatever. And they're like, the 2018 nominations just came out for the Oscars. How do you think that it changes the way that the diversity of the nominations for a young woman, of color, like, I don't even remember. And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
You did?
I said, I'm sorry, what? And my publicist is right here at the carpet, because it was the first question. And I look at him, and I'm like, Luis, what is this? And he's like, you're good. And I'm like, one more time. She says it again. I go, pass. I didn't know what to say.
You know what? You did the right thing, though. No, you did the right thing, because there are times where I should have passed and I just look stupid.
Yeah, no, but
like I'm scared.
I'm so scared.
No, don't be scared.
No. Now that I'm 31, I feel so much more confident in myself.
Yeah, but
to
like
not come up with the right answer. Like I care, but I'm not like 22.
Yeah, no,
like I don't even know what you just said, lady.
Yeah, no, and they hit you with those. When I was on Secret Life, I don't know if you remember this era, but I started around the time that purity rings were popular and everyone was talking about being a virgin. The Jonas Brothers came out with that whole thing.
Oh God.
And so because of the show I was on, I was constantly asked if I was a virgin, not straight up, like if I would wear a purity ring, which is like, I know what you're asking me. And I'm freaking dating a guy 19 years older than me.
Oh,
so I'm like trying to,
God.
and then they asked me straight up if I believe in abortion, which it's not, it's a complicated subject now, but not like it was back then.
Yeah, no, of course.
Back then you didn't talk about politics or religion or money at all.
Yeah.
So I probably should have gotten in. I think I did get offered it once, but I was offended by the offer because I was like, I grew up in radio. Like, I know what I'm doing. My dad taught me.
Yeah, I got it.
But
they must have offered you it.
Well, for sure. But it's because of the red carpet interviews. I get so nervous.
Yeah.
Especially these days. I'm afraid of one question.
Me too.
And everyone knows what that one question is because I don't want to talk about it. And so when it's brought up to me and I don't have a publicist there to like dodge it.
But now you probably have your one line where you're like, thank you, like you know what to say to dodge that one question.
Right. I came up with my one line and then I ramble.
Right. And I'm such a rambler.
And I try to add to that one line where I'm like,
I think it's a woman thing because my boyfriend can just answer the question and then period.
And I feel like I need to explain myself.
Full
because
ramble.
We're women.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I still do that, and I've tried to be slick and change the subject. And I think one time I was drunk for this one. I got asked something, and I turned it around and started talking about my sex life, trying to just talk about
ramble
something
on.
else.
Yeah.
About anything else. Goddamn, anything else.
That's so funny.
Please.
Well, yeah. Things have changed so much for better or worse. I don't know.
They're just as changed, and I usually fight the change, and I don't want to accept it. Like when social media became popular, like I should have been dancing a long time ago on there.
Yeah.
But
no time better than the present.
I mean, I started to again, and then I had an accident, and I was out of commission for 6 weeks, so I have to get back into it.
That was your, okay, not to say that like you fell on purpose or that like the universe wanted you to fall or God wanted you to fall, but
crazy.
I'm sure that your body wanted you to rest for 6 weeks.
Oh my God. I thought I was going to die the first time I went back to work out. I was hot yoga. I barely sweat. I was like, my body was just so excited. I didn't realize I was pushing her so much. And I've also been releasing a lot. Like the holidays were a lot of tears.
Yeah.
But not boo-hoo. I feel sorry for me tears. It was more boo-hoo. I'm finally releasing years of grief that I hadn't dealt with. And it feels good. I constantly tell people like, let it out.
I know. I need to do that.
Let it out.
Do that.
And then you start laughing at the end.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So cathartic.
And it's not like change right away because mentally it takes a while for you to adjust. Anything new takes a while to adjust.
Yeah.
And you want to go back to your old habits, but it's about making a choice every single day.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, I know I've only known you for
a few weeks.
Yeah, a month. But I truly am so proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm really glad you're doing this because your page came across mine because we have mutual friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool that she's doing that. And then I remember Mark saying, I booked my first series regular, and he said your name. That's why when I saw you, I was like, are you sure we haven't met?
Yeah.
But it's because I've seen your stories.
And I, of course, have seen you so much, obviously from watching you as a kid, but also through Mark and him talking so highly of you. And I think you tape here. And like, I've taped here. So, and he'll be like, we've gone out for the same things over the last year or something like that.
Crazy.
I'll get a tape and he'll be like, oh yeah, I just taped Francia for that.
And I never went out for CSI.
Yeah.
Funny.
That's the other thing that doesn't.
I also love when friends just book.
Yeah.
Like especially when it's a Latina, it's so rare and you're the only one on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been the only one.
Yeah.
And that's still the norm.
It's so rare to book. Let me tell you. I was
know.
just thinking about how there's 4 series regulars on my show.
Yeah.
2 men. 1 older 6-year-old woman.
The other thing that's happening is I'm going to talk about pay. Considering my resume, I still don't make what the average white person would make being a series regular 3 times. I still don't make it. It's crazy. And now because of the strike and the
All the
economy,
cutbacks. Now it's even freaking less.
yeah, there was a casting director. The casting director for Grownish literally said to me, "Good luck getting your quote." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And so there are roles that I just haven't gone out on, and I wonder. And my manager's
Based
like,
on that.
"This is what they're capping it at," and I'm like, "I worked too hard."
No, it's true. That's a tough.
It's a tough situation. So it's like they go, and now you're in the situation again where it's like, I can sign a 6-year contract to make half of what I'm used to making, or I hold off because, and then even for recurring roles, there's a cap.
Yeah.
I have a quote for recurring.
Right.
So that's also been an issue, which I'm like, all right, fine. Like at this point, like
I'll go.
I'll still go and do it. But like there's room for negotiation.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that's another thing. Most people that don't have those quotes are booking. Like I have a friend who's works like crazy. She just did a movie, I think an independent movie, and I think she was getting paid $1,500 a week, and she was playing opposite an A-lister.
No. Yeah.
So it's just, it's been tough. That's another thing. I was really like hanging on.
Yeah.
So,
well, because you did that for so long, now when you finagle, it'll go just down a little versus you right away in the beginning being like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'll take the lowest.
I think
now it's like it'll meet at a medium that you're comfortable with. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll
Right?
see. I think we'll visit when we get there. And because I've been really building other things, other businesses, aside from this, maybe I won't get, no, that's not true.
So caught up.
That's not true because I've worked too hard.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
The right thing will come. It'll all
that whole equal
fall together.
payday Latinas, like it's so true. Like I know Sofia Vergara ended up being like the highest paid, but also she has been in this business so long. And like I remember her in novelas. Like she already knew how to finagle this.
Right.
And she's been really smart, and we all just have to figure out how
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be the one to do it. I already know.
I hope so.
In our
Gloria
generation.
did it.
In our
like,
generation.
we just got to be smart in business.
That's right. Smart in business. Mix the art with the business.
Did you even ask me the 3, or did we stay on the 1?
We stayed on the 1, but you did mention the second question is what was your first dream job? So defense attorney or criminal law.
I guess so, yeah.
And then the third one is your first paid job, which you did also answer. Or what was your first paid job? It doesn't have to be acting. It could be lawn mowing.
No, it was acting.
Okay.
So I'm a Nepo baby in the Latin industry, and my dad, wanted us to do acting and pulled a favor. And so my first job was a co-star on American Family.
Okay.
I was just dancing, and they gave me a line, but it was just because of my dad. And
Okay.
I honestly hated that. I mean, I still went in to like audition as a formality.
Yeah.
But I was like, I hate this. If I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it on my own.
And you did.
And yeah, I did. But I still, now thinking back, I'm like, use nepotism if you have it. Just be a hard worker.
Yeah. Well, I also have this weird idea that nepotism, yes, it works, but also
You have to work harder.
I feel like you have to work really hard.
You
like,
do.
Yeah.
You do. But if you can honestly be smart about taking advantage of nepotism,
Right.
because it does open doors, and then be a
Do
hard
both, and
worker.
then have great work ethic on top of it. Yeah.
Like,
100%.
look at Dakota Johnson.
Yeah. That's who I was just thinking of.
Yeah, no, it
exactly who I
exists.
was
Kaya
thinking.
Gerber,
What is she in?
she's in Palm Royale.
Oh.
And I don't mind her in it.
Yeah.
Like, Ricky Martin's also in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many people don't watch the show. It's so amazing.
I'll
on
watch it.
Apple.
I'll watch it.
Kristen Wiig, Carol
I love
Burnett,
her.
like
Okay.
so many people are in it.
Okay, that's my next binge. Francia, we're out of time. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being here. Again, I truly appreciate your vulnerability and honesty, and this episode is going to help a lot of people. And
I hope so.
most of our episodes are just very much, I want them to get those business tips out of it and know how to get an agent and manager and know how to, get good tips on auditions. But mental health is a huge part of it and taking care of yourself. And I feel like we touched on
That.
all of it.
Yeah.
But we can do a whole other episode because I did want to talk to you about, you just mentioned like going through multiple agents and managers and things like that. And I feel like you'd be open to talking about money and stuff. So like there's so much more we
I'm
can.
like, damn.
We'll do round
do
2.
we have time to do it real quick?
No, I have another.
Well,
So
yeah,
thank
I'd
you.
love to. I don't mind helping. Anytime a new actor comes on a show and they're a new series regular, like,
Oh, I'm going to be calling you. No, literally.
yeah, no, call me. I'm always like, hey,
Crying.
no one taught me.
This
so
happened today. Is that normal?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Just call me. And like also kudos to you, like respect for coming up with a podcast to teach us
Thank you.
the business side of things, because no one does. And we all just like kind of figure it out as we go.
Girl,
and
there's
get screwed
scams
over.
out there.
Oh yeah. My cousin almost got scammed recently.
I just heard of one. She actually posted about my podcast in a mean light, and my fans of the podcast, my listeners, were sending me it. And I'd never seen this woman. She charges $5,000 for a course, and she's not even an actor or an agent or a manager or anyone.
Yeah.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
I was
so many
like,
scammers out there.
but anyways, all right.
All right.
Love you. Thanks.
Love you. Bye.